It's also giving you a competitive edge.
100%. When I came to Opendoor, we used to have up to 11 human beings touch every home before we put an offer on it. Last week, in many of our flows, that was down to one person. And this just means we can put more offers on more good homes so we can actually make home ownership more common in this place.
You know, the segment before you, we talked about AI being the elixir. And one of a really great stock pickers now focus on companies that are using AI most efficiently, and those stocks are responding this last quarter. So it's great to hear that you're doing that. I also like the notion of a founder mode strategy. You know, I don't know if people realize, but stocks that are headed by founders do extraordinarily well for a variety of reasons. How are you going to bring that mentality to Opendoor?
Yeah, I think there's basically two modes for companies. There's companies that are run by professional managers, and there are companies that are run by founder types. And these companies just do very different things. If you want to study as she goes, just go down that way. Professional managers are really good at that. This is what business school books are about, right? How to run a regular company. But if you want extraordinary companies, companies that just change how an industry looks, how the country looks, how the world looks, you want founders in charge. Because that is a bet on amazing alpha that you can't really create if you're just incrementally changing things. Let me give you an example. On my first day at work at Opendoor, on the first Monday, Opendoor was a remote company. I stood up in front of the company and I said, hey folks, we're going back to the office in 7 days. In 7 days, we went from being remote, not having offices, to everyone being back in an office. No regular company with regular managers would have done that. They would have a 7-year plan for a 6-month transition. There'd be a bunch of consultants in the way. And you can't really do that if you want to move fast. That's the main difference. Speed of execution is the main difference for founder mode.